everybody, and welcome. You are listening to MFL Total Access. My name is William Power. This is Terry Babalis. Week 5 already in the books. We got a special edition of MFL Total Access today, but before that, Terry, take the mic.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if you got... Maybe I should have asked you this before the show, but wanted to know if you got any feedback on the show since the beginning?
We got a little bit from our buddy from the Chiefs there, Monsieur. I think that's his name, right?
Yeah, Chiefs fan.
Oh, Chiefs fan,
Playing
correct.
Old school
correct.
Bob, yeah.
And he's been giving us good praise. He's been saying we're good together, a good duo, so I appreciate it.
What I've noticed is that when I ref games, people don't call me ref anymore, they call me by my name.
Come on.
So I think it means they watch the show, or at least they know who we are now.
Right.
Before, besides my little group of friends at the field, people would be like, hey ref, sir, you, mister,
sir,
whatever. So like, at least now I know people are maybe watching the show, so they're
Yeah.
calling me by first name. Also, I wanted to shout out Kevin. Guys, it was really hot last weekend. You got to bring water, man. Kevin, I think he brings about 148 water bottles. He helps all the refs out because I think literally some people would probably saved a life or two.
I'd say 3.
Yeah, 3 lives,
Yeah.
And not only that, he balled out in his game.
And guess how many rushing touchdowns did he have?
Yeah, 2 rushing touchdowns for a little more than 12 yards.
Who predicted he was going to get 2 rushing touchdowns last week?
Congratulations, your first one.
Thank you.
If we do a prediction again, how about you go first? Because it's been a couple of weeks, you just copy my game.
Deal.
Yeah?
Deal.
You're the one who wants to do them, and then you're thinking, and then you're like,
Deal.
which game did Terry choose? Oh, I'll take the same game.
Deal. Let's go. Bring it on.
All right. Also, the other feedback I got, apparently your voice is louder than mine.
Yeah, even like when we talk, whenever we hang out, Marvin thinks I yell. I just like to talk loud.
That's why I brought the mic a little closer to me.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
see if
fair.
it gets corrected.
That's fair. I'm a skinny guy, so I got to compensate, you know?
All right. Without further ado, mid-season report cards.
Yes, mid-season report card, folks.
5 weeks before playoffs, so I think it's the perfect time to do this.
A to F. Let's hope most teams got an A.
We're basing this on a bunch of things. We're obviously taking into account the expectations we had of your team before the season started.
Mm-hmm.
We're also taking into account where we think your team should have done, the talent you have on the team, and we're also looking at the schedule. Who you played, are your losses merited? Kind of like in college football, when you do the top 25, a loss against the best team in the league, it doesn't hurt you as much as a loss against the worst team in the league, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So we're going to give A, B, C, D, Z's, and F's also.
Yeah.
A is extremely well, championship contender right now, ranging down to F, which is basically your season's over and there's no hope. D would be that you kind of screwed up the beginning of the season, but there's still a glimpse of hope that you could turn it around and maybe fight for one of those last playoff spots.
And we'll do plus and minus, right? Like C plus, C minus.
Sure.
Okay, I like that. I like being specific.
That's how prepared we are.
Yes, very.
Let's start with Division 1 and onward.
Sounds good.
I got this order over here. Let's start with Centurions.
Perfect. Yeah, Centurions. I mean, look, they came back from obviously not playing a Division 1, Division 2 team. They've been great. They got some really clutch wins. I'm gonna give them a B plus. I think that with the way their quarterback's playing and the connection he has with his wide receivers, I like where this team is headed. I'm giving B plus.
Yeah, I also got them in the B range, maybe more of a B minus. They're still 3-3. I think they're still fighting for that end of the playoff spot in Division 1. Yeah. I love how they just adapted so well to that Division 1. You're seeing some perennial Division 1 teams in this league that are getting beat by them, and they're just it shows that they're in the right place. At the beginning of the season, there was a slight hesitation of bringing them up. Division 1's another game, right? It's the highest division MFL, and it's the best of the best.
Right.
And no doubt they belong there, and they've been playing super well so far. So they got a tough end of the season, playing Ninja Turtles next game, and they're ending the season against Minority Crime Family.
Two big games.
Yeah, and then exciting to see how they end the season.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Henchmen. I'll start with that one.
Sounds good.
As much as talent you guys got on that team, I got to go with a C for this one.
Yeah.
Just the fact that I see your team implodes on itself and there's no really team spirit there. When you guys win, the highs are high. Yeah. Actually, even when you guys are winning, the last game against Holy Trollers, you guys were up big. I think you were up at least 18 throughout the whole game. You had total control of that game, and you guys still weren't focused.
Yeah.
You guys still had some selfish guys wanting the ball. You guys still had asking the QB, hey, I was wide open. Just be happy for whoever gets the ball, That's what a good team does. And we're not supposed to hear you screaming at each other when you're up 3 scores and more, right? At the end of the game, you guys were not even playing defense anymore till Jafar had to mention that the points against mattered. And that's when you guys stopped missing tackles and all that. But it was too little too late because they still got that touchdown at the end.
1,000%. I'm giving us a C on the dot, just like you did. Look, at 3-4, I think we with the talent we have on our roster, we should have a winning record. And we're not in a playoff spot right now. We're battling Centurions for that spot. They're 3-3, we're 3-4, but they have the tiebreak, so that really hurts us. look, we haven't played great all season. We've been too inconsistent. I think just really with the talent we have, with the addition of Demario Cooper, and how good Rossi's been playing and the connection he has with us, I think 3 and 4 is definitely a letdown. So I say C. Definitely our season's not over. We got a big win against Holy Trollers, but I'm gonna give C. And it's been a little bit of a disappointment, but I have faith in us.
You guys on the outside looking in now, is next Saturday's game against the Outlaws must win?
We gotta go 3-0 rest of the season.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Next up, we got the Bitter Boys.
Yeah, Bitter Boys. Look, they've had a tough season. Obviously, moving into D1. Obviously, like you said, Terry, it's a whole new ball game. They haven't had their quarterback JS right. He's been missing. I'm not sure if he's
I think he was on vacation. I spoke to
okay,
someone, yeah.
Right, but they do have talent. They seem to be unorganized and just implode after the score gets bad. I'm gonna give them a D. They were able to get that one win.
Yeah.
It's not an F there. I can't see them making the playoffs. Unfortunately, I think it's at this point you want to develop chemistry with your teammates, see what works for next season. So I'm giving Bitter Boys a D.
I also got a D for Bitter Boys. As rough as the beginning of the season has been, if they pull off 2 or 3 straight wins towards the end, I would not be totally surprised if GS comes and shows up and balls out the way we know he can ball out. But I think the biggest thing for Bitter Boys definitely have the football intelligence to play in D1, but they're missing some speed. It's the one thing that I think they're missing compared to when you look at the other D1 teams. They don't got the speed in D1.
Yeah, well said.
Let's go to Outlaws.
Yeah, Outlaws. Look, I mean, you guys are 4-0, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, you guys are 4-0. I'm gonna go A- there. I was gonna give
A-.
Yeah, A-. Look, I'll say 4-0. Obviously, you guys have completely did what you had to do. Obviously, you guys are undefeated there. I say I haven't really seen you guys slip. The only bad half you seem to have played was the first half of the season against us. Then you guys were able to regroup. The trio of receivers you have, with the smoothest. Smuda, Svetna, Steinberg, with Steve at quarterback, you at rusher, and even your guys who are 4-5 receivers can ball out on that team. You really don't have a weakness. I think that you guys are balling out for sure, and I'd say maybe instead of I give you guys an A- instead of an A, just because I think defensively you can maybe play a little bit better. But I think you guys have been completely balling out, and I say you guys are definitely the favorites to win it all this year.
We haven't played Ninja Turtles yet, so it's
that is true. That is true. It's early. You guys have.
We are averaging 16 points against the game. So I'll be I'm sure you're this kind of student. You get an A-, and you go see your teacher. Hey, teacher, what was I missing to get the A+? So
you got to say something, right? You got to say something.
I mean, you could give an A+,
Yeah, no, I'm sticking with the A-.
Let's move on to Moretti Crime Family.
Definitely. Moretti Crime.
After losing the first 2, they have won 3 straight games, including against you guys, Henchmen, and Centurions. Scoring over 60 points in those 2 games.
Look, 3-2. You think with the roster they have to be better than that, and you think the grade may not be great. I'm gonna give them a B+, and I'm gonna give them a B+ simply because the way they're playing right now. Right now, they seem to be like a well-oiled machine. They're rolling. Joey Taylor's got that offense. He's got the short, and he can throw deep when needs be. He's flooding zones. If you look at Zach's one, he's averaging last 2 games. I think he's had 9 catches, not for too many yards, but he's moving the sticks. And these guys are hard to stop.
Key catches, 3rd and 4th down.
That's what I mean. If 3rd and 4, you're getting 5 yards. It doesn't look pretty, but you're still moving the chains. This team has the talent to win it all. And I'm going to say B+ simply on the fact that they won 3 straight games, and I see them rolling.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going with at least a B+. I think I even pushed it to an A- because those first 2 losses, they weren't ready to play on this MFL smaller field, and they were against Ninja Turtles and Outlaws.
Yep.
So they didn't have it easy to start off their season, right?
True.
The way they're playing right now, I think it's an A-. 3 straight wins. They're definitely rolling. Next game is against Holy Trollers. They ain't going to get any easier for Holy Trollers. We'll talk about them in just a bit, but this Moretti Crime Family, I'm glad we paid them once and we're not playing them again.
For sure. No, they're definitely making the playoffs. They're going to cause some havoc for sure.
Speaking about those Holy Trollers, they're up next.
I got to give an F. It's tough for sure. They have dealt with injuries. Obviously, Max, QB of Holy Trollers, is not 100% healthy. They haven't seemed to click on the offense side of the ball, defensive side of the ball neither. They're missing JC. Sean's not fully healthy. They were missing Ben last game when we played them. But look, I mean, of course, I'm factoring all that in, but they haven't won a game, right? They haven't won a game. I expected this team to be a playoff team for sure. I expected them to be rolling. Although the one bright spot of that team is I think that Sean and Max do have that deep ball connection going. They have that deep hook on the sideline. I'm going to have to say an F, though. They haven't won a game, and I almost feel like they've given up on the season, so I have to give an F.
I totally agree with you. Them showing up 5 players at the last game and not really knowing who's subbing for them. like this team's a perennial playoff team. Like I don't even remember when the last team. I don't know if Holy Trails have ever not made the playoffs.
Right.
They back a couple of years ago, they had a dynasty going. They won back-to-back championships. It's a little unfortunate to see the way it's unraveling now, but obviously Max, the surgery he had in the off season, it doesn't help.
It's big.
Hopefully they regroup and take the rest of the season to just get better every game and come back stronger in the fall.
For sure, definitely. No, they'll be back. They'll be back.
And last but not least, Ninja Turtles for Division 1.
Wow, Ninja Turtles, after losing to like another team, we're happy we played them week 1. Well, their first game, we were able to get the win there against them. But I'm giving them A-. After that first loss, they tallied off, I think it's 5 straight wins now. And they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go, 5-1. They're looking good. Obviously, you got the Pilon brothers, you got Tam. They got some others, they really, you can see this team going deep the entire game, and, they complete one of every 2, and it's how can you stop that? You send 3 guys deep. The quarterback situation when Wade seems to struggle, Tam is there to quarterback for the team.
And
I think
it's all smiles. It's as if they know. No one's angry. It's and Wade contributes wherever he's playing on defense. If he's playing quarterback, he's playing receiver.
Even as a receiver, for sure, definitely. No, he's still a big part of that offense. But I say A- just because of they had a little hiccup at the beginning of the season, but they seem to be rolling now. And
a little hiccup. They showed up with 5 players in the rain.
Yeah, no, exactly.
After you guys got that sour loss in the week 1.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm also going with an A- right now. I think Ninja Turtles are a well-oiled machine. Making the jump from Division 3 to Division 1. Obviously, they upgraded the roster in consequence to that.
Yep.
But, this top-end teams in Division 1, it's, who would be your championship preview right now? Not need to say who's going to win, but if you had to pick which 2 teams would you see in the finals?
I'm going to say Outlaws and Murray Crime Family.
All right, so this Ninja Turtle team, you see.
I love Ninja Turtles for sure. I think that obviously they will make the playoffs. I can't see you guys not making it to the finals. I just think the experience that Murray Crime has and the fact that they figured out the game, it'd be you guys and either against Ninja Turtles or Murray, but I'm gonna pick Murray for now.
You got winning it.
Give me Murray Crime Family.
Oh yeah.
Yep, give me Murray Crime.
All right, let's go to Division 2 now.
All right.
Let's start off with Pitts Fuck.
Petit Fuck, you go first.
Yeah, it's been a tale of 2 seasons a bit. With Boris playing quarterback or Dom playing quarterback. We saw Dom last week and they just defeated the almighty Outlaws.
Right. All of us picked Outlaws, right?
Yes, everyone picked Outlaws in the media team. And Pitts Fuck pulled it through. I think we also didn't have the uncertainty. We had the uncertainty surrounding who was going to play quarterback.
Right.
Boris did play great in some of the games where he QB'd.
Yeah, he did.
He played mediocre at best in some other games. But I just think this team has that chemistry. That I know they have other players who not play on Grow Cock on this team, but they have the top end talent from Grow Cock leading that defense.
For sure.
With they got Vince, Boris,
Bress. Yeah,
Brett. That's not how to forget Bress. And then when Dom's on offense, he could just create so much time. I got a B+ for this team.
I got a B. Very similar to you. I got a B, but with a chance of going up. I have to say B just because they have lost some tough games. So, obviously with getting Dom back, it's a huge bonus for this team. I'm gonna say B, but that may be a little harsh. I think I can maybe go B+.
So I can't see Dom not being there in the playoffs.
That's the thing.
I get when you look at the season, but when I think about the games that Dom was there, and they had their full roster and they had their set of subs and they had their extra players on the bench to sub in and not just subs off they picked up the game before.
Right.
They've been strong.
For sure, and I think pretty crazy. Just playing up there, it's 25.8 points for, 26 against. It shows kind of how even it is there. I think that when they need to rely on their offense, they can. When they need to rely on their defense, they can. So I think it's a B with going up.
Look at the next coming up games. They have Red Zone and KOB, so it's going to be. I think every game in D2 right now is going to be a great game.
D2 is fun. D2 is a really most fun division say in a while.
Let's go to Red Zone.
Yeah, Red Zone. I'll say C+. We had a tough game against them. Honor Game did. They had it was kind of an ugly game. Went back and forth. Their defense played well. I think Mike Roy has these guys working. He seems to have really a big connection with Dom. Tristan Lassard. Yes, also plays safety. Really good safety on that team. I think for this team, it's the sky's the limit. It's bringing about consistency week in and week out.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why I think it's a C+. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them win it all. That's how much faith I have in this team. I think they make the playoffs. I think they create havoc there potentially, but I want to see a little more consistency out of this team.
Yeah, just because I see their potential, I give them a B-. I was so surprised that game, as you guys know, it was on a shootout. I was expecting 30+ points, bombs here or there. It was a 6-0 score till midway through the second half.
It was nuts.
Crazy. So I know they're 2-2 right now. They had that hiccup in week 1. They're just getting the groove. I think they never really all played together. But right now I could see them getting rolling, right? They were also 6 players. I know you guys were also 6 players too. But once they get their 8 guys there and they get those extra subs, it might could take the breather off on defense.
Yeah.
Like this team, like you said, the sky's the limit.
Totally.
I'll go with Joy's haters.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'm giving them a C+. I know they only got they have 1 loss right now. They're 3-1, but they haven't faced the strongest competition, and they haven't looked great in those games either. They haven't played those top teams besides Honor game in week 1. They haven't played those top teams of Division 2 in my opinion, and they've kept the games too tight. Yeah. I feel. I don't know if like Max has that great chemistry with Sean. Also, Adam Rudick has been balling out on that team.
Huge addition.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I'm gonna say B-, a little close to yours, but a little more generous. I think. Look, the game against the Hadas Honor game, we were favored to win that game by a fairly big amount, and they kept it a very close game. We won by 3, just based on the experience that team has and the fact that look. No matter who they played, their record is still 3-1, right? They can't get you who they play against.
That's true.
I like where this team is going. I know I'm giving compliments.
But it's also the way they're playing.
Yes, no, totally, for sure. I think we'll see who they play this upcoming week. But I think I can see these guys going 7-3, and I'm gonna give them a B-.
OG Panthers now fresh off their second victory to bring their season to 2-2.
Yeah, that was you guys had a really good game. I'm gonna go with another B-. I think for OG you guys are 2-2. You said 500. I think that's kind of what we expected. Terry, I've told you before, defensively, you guys, or if you look at the roster, you guys can make the case you have the best roster in D2. You have ballers. You really, really don't have a weak spot on that entire defense. Offensive side of the ball, neither. It's really going to come down to how Charles plays, right? Like near the end of the season, what happens in close games? Can he put up points? He played well last game, and we know he can. It's just about him being more consistent, and until I see him playing consistently week in and week out, I'm going to have to stick to a B-, like I said, and I can't really give
respectable. Our defense came up big last game with 2 pick-6s, but Charles 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. It's great when Charles plays quarterback and he's on fire like that, because then we got Louis Matsier playing receiver. He balled out with three big touchdowns in that game. So I'm glad we pulled off the win, and looking forward how the season's going to keep going.
Definitely.
Let's go with Honor game now.
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
I got to give you guys an A, undefeated. I can't really say much. Even in the games where it was either you or Marvin, you guys still won. I'd say convincingly. Last game maybe was the only one where it could have went either way.
Yeah.
Not really any stress level in your team yet, but you guys were also missing a lot of players. You're only 6 players. Yeah. Had you had 7 or 8 guys, the same way that red zone, I think maybe it would have been an easier game for both teams. So I got you guys on an A right now.
I respect that.
Just want to know who's going to play in the playoffs between you and Marvin.
So do I.
So let's go with Lone Chef.
Lone Chef, yeah, they're a fun team, eh? Like we talked about, they come to the field early to play their music. They had a really crazy game against Joey's haters, right, this past Saturday. I think they lost 8-6, 1 for 2, almost got it there. I'm going to go with a C+. The fact that they're fairly new, we really didn't know. I think a few of those guys played MFL previously, but we really didn't know what to expect of this team. They do have some ballers. You look at the highlight videos; they made some great plays there, and they seem super hyped. So I'm gonna say C+, just for the fact that their record isn't great. I can see them sneaking into the playoffs this year, but right now, again, you look at their points, 4 points against, it's very similar. So that's for them.
Yeah, I got C+, borderline B- based on our expectations. At the beginning of the season, we were discussing is this a Div 2 team or a Div 3 team, right? They're really on the cusp there, but the way they're playing, they held it together against Joy's haters, who are one of the top teams in Division 2. Like, they've been playing great football coming after that big victory against Pittsburgh,
right.
And they've been getting better every single week, and I love their attitude. Like other teams, man, look how they play, look how they cheer. Like, that's what MFL is all about.
100%. They love honestly, with being the new team, they developed the vibe right away.
Let's go with KLB, who's had a very tough nail-biter loss in overtime against D-Nasty last week, 31-30.
Yeah, so
they're 1-3. They could have been 4-0.
It's very... So I'm going to give them a C-, but I have a tremendous amount of faith in this team. I really do. I'd say C- is a harsh grade, but look, they're 1-3, right? I can't really be giving them a great grade. Just the with their QB, the connection they have with their quarterback, and wide receiver, their brothers there. Their defense is good. Honestly, this is a really fun team, KOLB. Yeah. I love watching these guys. I've reffed them before.
So explosive.
That's the thing, and I feel bad giving them a C- simply because of how good of a team they are and how good their roster is. But like I said, I have to at 1-3. I'm gonna give a C-, but I'm guaranteeing this team makes the playoffs.
Alex Valiel with another handful of sacks last game.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't be surprised if this team ran the table.
Yeah, me neither. Honestly, I wouldn't.
I'm also giving them a C for pretty much the reasons you mentioned, just because I find that great teams still find a way to win at the end of the day, and being 1-3 right now, they could have easily been 2-2, 3-1, right?
Exactly.
So they gotta get those W's at the end of the day, right?
For sure, and they're gonna get them. Honestly, with this team, I wouldn't sweat it. I know it's tough in there, and it's halfway through the season. They gotta kind of start getting those wins, but the wins are gonna come.
Let's go with the Lean Mean Machines, who are winless right now in the season.
Yeah, Lean Mean Machine. I'm not gonna go F. I'm gonna go D. I think the fact that they're. Some games have been close, right? I mean, the majority of those have kind of been one-sided for them. I just think that it seems to be we've seen some of these guys play MFL before, but they don't really seem to have a consistency at the QB position. I think anytime Kevin is on your team, you guys are gonna be a team that's able to put up points. Just a guy that can play QB, play receiver. So I'm going to give a D. I won't give an F just because I do see some hope in this team. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I'm going to go with a D.
I'm going to go with a D as well, just because based on the expectations beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Like you said, most of the guys have played MFL, but they got a new quarterback who I don't think has ever played flag on the small field. And it really gets him getting used to
For sure.
It shows that he's a quarterback, right? His deep ball is nice. He throws a nice spiral. But he goes deep way too often, in my opinion. Flag is all about those underneath routes and taking your shot at some point down the field.
Yeah.
So, but it's just getting used to. So if this team continues in every game, they try to get better. Coming in the fall, they'll probably be one of those teams that could compete for a 500 and a playoff spot.
Agree, 100%.
Let's go with D-Nasty.
D-Nasty, yeah. Crazy game, crazy win over KOLB. I think the good thing about that team is I feel like just similarly to Pretty Fuck that we mentioned, when they need to rely on their offense, they can. When they need to rely on their defense, they can. They don't solely rely on one side of the ball, which is Fusion Flag. I'm gonna give them a B. I think the connection they have with it seems like they've been playing forever, and I didn't know that until you told me. But just the way they play, you can see everybody knows where to be, what time on the field, and just based off that chemistry and the fact that they beat a really good team in KOLB just this past weekend, I'm gonna give them a B.
Yeah, they all know their role on that team, and
yes,
obviously they're all friends off the field. I'm also giving them a B. They're 3-2 right now. OG Panthers are playing them next weekend, so that's gonna be a big game.
Yep, that's gonna be a close one.
Yeah, let's move along to Outlaws D2.
You go first.
I got Outlaws to B right now.
Yeah.
They played a little bit less games than everyone else. They're just 2-1. They dropped that tight game against Les Petits Fuck. I didn't see that game, but I heard the reffing was maybe a little bit questionable.
Okay.
That's what Steve told me after the game. But then I heard some of the refs saying that maybe Steve was exaggerating a little bit. I don't know what you...
I believe the refs. Steve likes to exaggerate.
They had that big shootout win in week 1 against KOLB. They pulled off a big win against D-Nasty. So, this is for sure contender, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it shows they're contender considering all 4 of us picked them against the Pretty Fuck, one of the best teams. I'm going to give them a B as well, straight up. It's kind of hard to judge them after 3 games. Obviously, we know Stephen Harpersad, who we like to call Dad, he's got those guys locked in. They have ballers. There's no reason they shouldn't be putting up a ton of points a game. I look for Dave Gustowski to take a bigger role on that offense. Kevin has joined the team now, so he brings that... not maturity, but experience to the team. So I'm gonna give them
the voice,
the mouth. So I'm gonna
Rusher
give them
on the right.
20. Even in his own game, it feels like he's saying 20, but no, I'm gonna give them a B.
All right, I think we got all the D2 teams. Hopefully, we didn't miss any.
If we did, well, you could tell us, but obviously we can't go back and.
You'll send a little comment, right?
For sure. Look, we want to get comments, so bring it.
I have my file open here, but I'm just hoping we don't skip any. Let's go to D3 now. I'll start off with Iron Wolves.
Yeah.
I gotta give you guys an A+. 5-0 on the season, beating Mustard Tigers, Old School, Nice TDs, Town Deep Threats. Those are the upper echelon teams at Division 3.
Yep.
And John's been playing really well. You've been balling out. And you guys are missing Alec on that roster.
Yeah.
And you got some somewhat legal subs for a couple of games there with James and Dave.
Yeah.
But you guys still got the W's at the end of the day, and I think you guys are definitely the team to beat.
I appreciate that. Just one quick thing. I say that the kind of cool thing about us is I feel like we're okay winning ugly, and I know that's not always the thing to do.
What's that saying again?
A pretty loss. No, bro, I always bitch. An ugly win is better than a pretty loss. Exactly. So yeah, no, we won one game 7-6 in OT. We won last game. Where we threw quite a few interceptions. But no, I think that it shows we're able to win in ugly games, and it's kind of fun for us.
Yeah, I remember before the season, you were like, man, we lost a couple of players. It's going to be hard.
I was worried.
We got some new players who never played before.
Yeah.
Should we go down to D4? What's going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know if I said that, but I was a little worried. But I trust John.
Maybe John said that.
Yeah, it was more John.
But now he has just tuck the ball in and run. So
yeah, I mean, he's running for like 11 yards a game now. It's like insane. Call him Lamar.
Let's go to Les Tannantes.
Tannantes, obviously a great team.
3-2 right now.
3-2. I'm gonna give them a B-, simply because with that roster in D3, they should be 4-1, 5-0. And I know they played us, who were, like you said, one of the better teams. But I do really expect this team to kind of continue the ball rolling. They will make the playoffs. Obviously, they have ballers all across the board. Ferrand, obviously a great player, can play D1. I maybe was expecting a little more of this team, so I'm gonna give a B-.
Yeah, I'm also giving them a B-. 3-2. Like before the season started, looking at their schedule, no matter who they would play, at this point, I would have predicted it to be 5-0. Yeah. At worst, 4-1. Yeah. This is a team that could have won in Division 2 and could have played at least 500 and competed for like winning a playoff game in Division 2.
Totally.
So I got them at. I'm not worried for them at all. If I had to pick a favorite in Division 3 right now, I think they'd still be that team.
Fair.
Alongside Iron Wolves. But I still think they're one of the strong candidates to be that championship team at the end of the year. Yeah. And I have a lot of faith in them going forward. And obviously, once you make the playoffs, your season record does not matter.
Nope.
But now this report card is based on their season expectations up until now, and I expect them to be 5-0.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Agreed.
Let's go with the team that's having a little bit of an unfortunate season, Mustard Tigers.
Oh, man, I gotta give them an F, and I'm shocked.
Hard to say.
I'm shocked that they haven't won a game. They have played some tough teams. I just think that it was kind of a bad 2 first games for them, and the ball seems to be rolling the wrong direction, unfortunately for them. It's really the same team that went to D3, that was in D3 semifinals last year.
And they were like favorites in that game.
That's the thing, and we were able to beat them. I think that the good thing about, I know this is completely off topic, but the good thing about them is their vibe is always good. Yeah. And I feel like when you're having a tough season, you have teams that implode on each other, and I really don't think that's the case.
That's not their type.
They seem to know each other also outside of MFL, which is great. And it was honestly a pleasure refereeing their game against Average Joe's. Super polite and really helped us giving the bags and stuff like that. Brian Mustard's had a bit of a tough season for them. Some seasons are like that, right, Terry? Sometimes you have teams that win the championship, and then the next year they have kind of a slump. Maybe it's that type of year. It happens in sports, but for those reasons, I got to give them an F.
Brian Mustard's the type of QB who already won a QB of the Year award, right, in this league, so it's having a very tough season.
Yeah.
Like you said, sometimes it doesn't go your way, but
happens.
Like I could see this team still winning a couple of games, but I don't think they're making the playoffs this year.
It's going to be tough.
Let's move to deep threats.
Deep threats, yeah. So 4-1. Obviously played that really close game against us.
5-1.
5-1. Thank you. I'm gonna give them an A.
Yeah, I got an A also.
Yeah, give them an A. When you have Jonathan Svedna on the team, it's especially in D3, you're gonna be one of the better teams. We talked about JC Blais winning Most Improved Player of the Year. Last year, I believe, and he's continuing on that trend. They have really great players on that team. Blostein, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He's good two-way player. I think, honestly, for this team, the sky's the limit there. They have one loss. They're 5-1. Their losses to us, who were undefeated.
Obviously, in their loss, they didn't have their quarterback in that game.
Exactly.
And
right.
that's with their best receiver playing there. So that's why I'm also giving them an A.
Yep, totally.
So, yes, them playing against you again with the full roster, I think it go either way.
Yep. Totally. So. I think even with this roster, I think 5-1 is considering that like they're a team that like obviously they played D2 last season, but D3 is fairly more competitive, so it wasn't a guarantee these guys were going to roll the table, and I think that they've exceeded expectations.
Yeah, agreed. Next up, Black Knights.
Led
by Leon.
Yeah, I'll let you go first in this one.
Yeah, right now they're 3-2. I have them with a C+. Like I said, kind of another team with all the talent they got. I know they were missing JC and Sean Kennedy in a couple of those games, but basing it off the expectations, when I looked at the roster before the season started, and I looked at their opponents, I was expecting at least a 4-1, if not even 5-0 right now, right? They still haven't played Tannantes. They haven't played Iron Wolves yet. Yeah. They haven't played Deep Threats, so they didn't even play those top 3 teams, in my opinion, in the division, and they're sitting at 3-2. So I really think they could have done better. I'm
going to go C-, and I know it sounds a little harsh just because obviously, like we talked about, we played with Leon in the wintertime. We know how good of a quarterback he is. You have JC, you have Sean Kennedy. Obviously, you have other ballers on the team. Brendan's a really good player. And it's 3-2. 3-2 is not bad. I didn't like the way they lost against Old School. They were missing guys, and they were missing those 2 guys. I don't know. Old School is obviously a great team. Just Leon seemed to be a bit down in that game.
We've both seen Leon do more with less, right?
That's what I mean. Exactly. So
Leon's able to ball out and take a team carried on his shoulders and get the dub.
And it's a C- basically because of expectations.
Exactly.
We expect them to do better, so that's why I'm going to go with a C-.
Next up, we got Average Joe's, our boy Jason.
Yeah.
Sitting at 2-3 right now, but looking at that roster before the season, look at Jason as a quarterback, his development. He's gotten so much better as a thrower. I think that that COVID winter season.
Yeah.
He really, really helped him going out against guys like Steve, Chris, Leon, Dave. Like, clearly he wasn't at their level when we first started playing, but he kind of bridged that gap, and he's making his teammates better. Like, you see him playing, and the guys around him, they're balling out thanks to Jason and that attitude. So I'm going with a B- here. He definitely exceeded my expectations.
For sure. I love the vibe of this team. I think that they're a team that, they won a good game against Mustard Tigers. I know Mustard Tigers are winless, but they're still a good team, not a team you can take for granted. Jason was throwing dimes in that game. He was throwing short passes, deep passes. He had a really nice deep pass in the back of the end zone. And, you see he's trusting himself. Look, I think he's going out there saying, if I throw interceptions, it's part of the game. I'm not necessarily going to play it safe. He knows when to play it safe. He's been a smart quarterback. I'm going to go with C+. Just because the fact that they do have a losing record, but I do think it's been a pleasant surprise for them, and I don't really see too much of a weakness on this squad.
Yeah, let's move along with big boys. I'll start.
Okay.
I got a D for this team. They're sitting at 1-3 right now. After week 1, winning against Black Knights, François Rochette balling out. The season seems so promising for them. Then, the QB carousel started. François wanted to play receiver. Last game, they were missing a bunch of guys that didn't show up. So it's really, I think the season's up in the air right now. I could still see them, I'm not giving them an F, I'm giving them a D. I still have hope that they could pull it together, get all their guys in, and play the way they played that week 1 game with François at quarterback and balling out. But it's going to be an uphill battle for sure.
Looking at their schedule, Terry, they have deep threats. They got us and Iron Wolves, old school, Washington Foreskins, and nice CDs at the very end of the season. That's going to be tough. I'm going to go with the C-. I've seen these guys play a few times. Offensively, I do think they need to get the ball rolling just a little bit, maybe a bit more chunk plays. Like we talked about, their record hasn't been great for them. I do think that it's going to be an uphill battle for them to finish the season and make the playoffs. I can see it happening, but it's going to be a little tough for them.
Yeah, next old school. I'm going to give them a B-. They get slightly some bonus points for their great attitude every time. Yeah. They're sitting at 3-3 right now, but their 3 losses are against Iron Wolves, Deep Threats, and Les Tannantes. So those are tough losses who we could easily say, without a doubt, they were expected to lose.
Yep.
I would have liked for them to maybe pull out one of those games.
Yeah.
But with Dyke at quarterback, I think this team could make some noise, could contend, and could pull off an upset, right?
Totally. I think that as soon as unfortunately the injury happened starting QB, but Daik as a quarterback, I never really knew how great of a quarterback he was until he subbed one of our henchman games. Obviously, I'd say he really is one of the better quarterbacks in D3. For these guys, you said they're 500. I'm going to give them a B. I think that it would have been nice for them to win one of those 3 games, but I think that, like you said, in all 3 of those games, they're going as underdogs. I like where this team is headed. I like the defense. You look at Daik, I think he has 10 interceptions on the defensive side of the ball in 5 games. That's huge. They really got a ton of guys that have played flag before, and I think I'm going to give them a B for that.
Let's go to Washington Foreskins. Not on their name. It's nothing. Give them a mark on their season.
Yeah, you go first. Fair, you go first.
So right now they're undefeated till last week where they lost to the Nice TDs.
Nice TDs, yeah.
I got them a B. Since they moved up, they didn't play any great competition yet, and I was expecting them to win the game with Nice TDs. Obviously, I picked them, and they had their quarterback there, so they don't really have an excuse who they were missing.
Yeah.
Nice TDs, obviously, it's a hit or miss team. They could beat Washington Foreskins to get killed in the game. So I'm not saying it was a gimme game there.
No.
But I was expecting to be undefeated after moving up. That's why I'm giving them a B, maybe B+.
I'm giving them a B+. I think that, look at their schedule, look at their rankings. They only have 1 loss. They look great. Quarterback on the team looks great. And like we talked about, Terry, it seems this team loves to go deep. And they don't love to go deep for the sense that it's fun. They love to go deep because they can't hit the deep ball.
Yeah.
And I think once you can hit the deep ball...
Going for 2 often.
Going for 2 most of the time. And you got the defenses kind of pushing back. And then you know where to hit them in the inside for those 5-yard hooks type plays. Smart quarterback, good team. I'm giving them a B+. I was a little disappointed in the way they lost to Nice TDs.
Yeah.
Losing, nothing to be ashamed of losing to Nice TDs.
But not scoring 0 points.
Yeah, that really is surprising to me. But season as a whole, I'm looking at it. I'm optimistic. I'm going B+.
And last but not least, let's go to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They're sitting at 1-4 right now. It's a free agent team, a little bit of a hard season.
Mm-hmm.
They did show some more fight in the last couple of games compared to the beginning of the season. I don't think much of them had played flag football, in 6-on-6 on that kind of small field.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have some hope for them. I think they found a new QB now.
Okay.
Still looking for subs every week there. It's hard for those free agent teams.
For sure.
Yeah.
You got a grade?
Yeah, I said a D.
Oh, D. Yeah. Sorry. I'm going to say D+. You stole everything I wanted to say from there. The good thing is they do have some roster experience on this squad. Like I said, they are free agents, but it's really hard to play on a team that you don't really know their guys. You don't know how good they are. And experience is everything in football, so I'm going to give them a D+. And look, you got to give them credit for coming into the season and playing that year with guys they don't really know.
Yeah, another big division now. Let's go to Division 4.
D4.
Starting off with Thunder Buddies.
None other than Thunder Buddies. You guys are 5-2?
5-2 right now.
5-2. I'm going to give you a B+. I was probably going to give you an A-. Just the last few weeks of the season haven't been too great, but you've really stepped up at the quarterback position, hitting your deep balls, kind of getting everybody involved on the offense.
It helps when you learn how to throw a ball.
That helps too. At quarterback, you got to learn how to throw a ball. It's not all about running. Ask Lamar Jackson about that. But no, honestly, Simon Deschesne, he's great. The connection you have with him.
I believe it's Duchesne.
Oh, it is. Thank you for correcting me. This is why you're the quarterback of that team. But no, Mustafa, the great connection. Won't always get a ton of yak yards, but when you need a short pass, he's good. Like I said, Rosalie's been playing a great season. Like, you look at your roster, you guys are solid. You guys are a solid team.
We've been playing together for a while now, so it does help.
And, champions of last season, so
exactly.
See if you could defend your crown. I'm going to give a B+.
I think that's fair. That's very fair. Next, we got the Titans. I got an A+ for the Titans. I know they got, 8 or A+. I know they got those 2 tough losses on their schedule. They lost to a team who is now Division 3, and they lost to a team who had 2 Division 1 subs on that team. So I kind of like closing my eyes-ish to that game, especially the one where they were playing against a Div 1 quarterback. They held their own to the game. They scored 40 points still. So, looking at them play, like, they're for sure the team to beat, in my opinion.
I agree. I'm going to give them an A- just because, like, obviously you got to factor in the record, of course, at 3-2. But they're putting up an astounding 43 points per game. It's incredible when you got a guy like Ben who could run and who also has a great deep ball. Like, that's what we talked about. He can really thread the needle. He has a great connection, like we talked about with his brother. I think that the next few games are going to be tests for them. I think their schedule is kind of up and down in terms of the teams they play. I like this team. I don't see them ever really scoring under 30 points per game, so that's why I got to give them an A-.
I even say 40.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Really.
Like last game, they started the game off. The other team scored first, and then Ben threw a pick on his first possession. They still scored over 40 points in that game. Next up, we got your beloved Flamboyant Flamingos.
A+++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++ I give them an A+, just because they're cool people. No, I'm giving them an A+. They've been playing really well, Terry, and the games haven't been close. Like, if you could just pull up the
I got
plus,
it over here.
Thank you, the plus-minus up there. Is that right?
Yeah, they got 46 points for.
And 3 against. I think enough said.
It's like video game numbers.
If you're not giving that team an A+, you're not giving anybody an A+.
I have my reasons. I'm giving them an A-.
Okay.
I know you can only play who's on your schedule, right?
Yeah.
But they have not played a team with a winning record yet. And looking at their schedule, they only got 1 team on their schedule that has a winning record that they will be playing before the end of the season. They do not play the Thunder Buddies. They do not play the Titans.
That's where I slightly disagree with you because
I know you can only be on the team on your schedule,
that's what
right?
I mean.
Like, they are showing everything right, but if they will play against one of those stout defenses, will they be still putting up 50 points? I have to ask the question. It's not a clear-cut yes in my mind.
Yeah.
Give them the benefit of the doubt, but it's still a question, right?
I got you, but however, if they're playing these teams in the schedule and they're winning by 6.7 points, I think that's when it's not like these games are close, right? They're complete blowouts.
But in those lower divisions, the disparity between the great teams, the lower teams, is much greater than the higher divisions as well.
Facts. Like I said, A+.
And that differential takes into account their first 2 games in Division 5.
That is true.
I'm still giving them an A-. I'm not.
That's still a great grade.
Let's go to the serial killers.
Yeah, serial killers. Cool dudes.
Pretty undefeated right now after that first loss.
That is true. Yes, after that first loss to you guys that you often like to point out, they have that Instagram account. Last game I think
Did they shut us out on it?
I believe so. They're good at that. Yeah, okay. They give us props.
Respect.
Yeah, respect. Mad respect. Last game play against ADED, winning the game 9-6. Kind of a weird game. I was expecting them to win by a little bit more, but I'm gonna give them an A- on the season. Losing to you guys in the beginning of the season when they're just figuring out their stuff. No shame in that. They have ballers. They have athletes that I feel like. Anyone could go QB on that team. Anyone could play snapper.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You can play them wherever you want. They got a good defense. They have 1 loss. They're only building from here. I'm going A-.
Yeah, I agree with you at A-. I'd say A-, borderline B+. Looking at their schedule, unfortunately, they did not play the Flamingos. I would have liked to see that pink bowl over there.
Yes.
I think the same group of age of the guys, both really hyped up. It would have been
that'd be a fun matchup.
Maybe that's going to be a playoff game, so.
Fingers crossed. Maybe a finals preview.
Oh, yeah, that's what you say right now?
Maybe a finals preview.
Let's go to Les Panaches.
Yeah, Les Panaches, I'll let you take that one first.
Yeah, I think they only got... they're actually undefeated right now.
Yeah.
So I'm giving them an A.
Yeah.
Great group team. They played Division 3 last spring, and I think it really helped them with the experience to get better. Felix, a quarterback, he's taking what the defense is giving him. He doesn't have many interceptions on the season compared to his touchdowns. And Martin, obviously the pioneer on that defense with Thomas, again, making sure his players are in the right place at the right time. They played some good teams, right? They beat Thunder Buddies, they beat Rossas. They just doubled up the score on Les Beautés last week.
Yep.
I got an A for Les Panaches.
I'm going to go back-to-back and give 2 straight A+. I love this team. Like we said, I hadn't seen Felix throw. I know he was a fairly good receiver.
Throws kind of that sidearm.
Yeah, sidearm, but it gets there. It doesn't have to be pretty. Like you said, Love is a complete anchor on the defensive side of the ball. He's kind of like that shutdown guy. Won't necessarily always get the picks, but he's a guy that's going to shadow their best receiver, knock that ball down. And they really do have when I ref their game, they have guys that could jump the short route. I like this team. My expectations weren't too high for this team. They're undefeated. I can only give them an A+.
Next up, we got Les Improbables, who have a really deserved bye week coming up because they've played 8 games already. We have some teams who only played 3. And Les Improbables, maybe that's why their season was a little bit harder, more condensed games. Yeah. Lots of double headers. They're sitting at 2-6 right now, but I got to give them a D. They have too much experience on that team to be sitting at 6-2. I know they have a lot of new players also, but they got some players who play in that higher division. Yeah. They got Alex Laroche, who's a flag football coach.
Yes.
And he's doing great with what he has, but before the season started, I was expecting better. At least close to a 500 record right now.
I'm going D+, similar to you, similar to all the reasons you said. I think like Alex LaRoche, we talk about him. He's always has a smile on his face, a great guy. Yeah. But no, I really feel like he is underrated in the sense that he's a smart football guy. He knows how to cover short. He knows what plays to call. He has good hands. He has rarely does he drop the ball. So I think for those reasons, like you said, Terry, my expectations were a little bit higher for this team. 2-6, obviously not great. They're gonna have to win their next 2 games to hopefully make the playoffs. But I'm going D+.
Next up, AD.
AD.
All day, every day.
They got their first win of the season, right, against Les Improbables. Yeah. I'm going to go another D+ there. I looked at them, and they do have a nice roster in terms of like they seem to have ballers. They seem to have players that are really quick, really shifty. I think it's just going to take about a season or 2 for them to really figure out the game of flag. But based on what I've seen so far, I gotta say D+, but it's D+ going up.
Yeah, I gotta C-, similar to you. Once they get that chemistry going with those players, they might be a dangerous team.
Yes.
Obviously, the record right now with only 1 win has a little bit of an asterisk because they got 2 losses in the higher division before they got moved down.
Right, that's fair.
So going forward, I think they could win a couple of games.
Yeah.
And probably make some noise, maybe squeeze into those last playoff spots.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Let's go with Les Bouchers.
Yeah, Les Bouchers, I know they talked about teams that have a good roster. I think this team, they do have a really good roster.
It's also a fun team to watch play when I get some glimpses of them. I didn't see them very often.
Yeah, so 2-3 right now. They got a win against Airborne. Airborne having a tough season. I'm going to give Les Bouchers a C+. I don't think my expectations were too high coming in for this team. 2-3 obviously isn't a great record, but I could really see when I see this team, I can see we talk about talent and the progress and like the potential of the team, and I think when I think about this team, I see a ton of potential. So
exactly,
I'm gonna say C+ and maybe even a B-. I
think Luke is doing a good job at the quarterback position, getting better every week.
Yeah,
bringing the troops together. They're a big squad. I like the way they're all they have great attitude.
Yeah,
and I think they're fairly new to flag football, coming in, not joining the Division 4, and I can see them winning a couple of more games moving forward.
They got a tough game against Wolfpack next. We'll see who's playing on D4 that roster.
Next up, we got Les Beautés, Division 4 runner-ups, having a very hard season after starting 2-1. They're on 5 straight losses right now. Another team who's played a lot of games at the midpoint now. They've already had 8 games, so maybe also the condensed season. Losing Thomas was obviously huge for them.
It was huge.
No, without a doubt, the best player on offense and on defense. Yeah. But I got a D for this team. They have too many players with higher division experience. They got players playing in Division who played in Division 2 for many years, and this team I know they have talent and some newer players on the team, but the core of that team is too strong to be sitting at only 2 wins right now. I'm
giving them exactly a D for the main reasons. Look, Terry, we talk about Nico isn't a guy that we always hear about in D1, D2, but I do think he obviously he plays. He has played in D2 before, and D1. He's a guy that can definitely play D1. You're too good. He's too good of a player for his team to be 2-6. I think you got to utilize him more. Doesn't really have necessarily the speed, but he's quick at his routes. He has good hands. He knows the game of flag. He's a great player. I think with Nico alone on that roster, and anything of Ben, anything of Simon, that defense, I think that being 2-6 is sad for them. It's surprising.
Last season, Simon took so many strides forward. I think he kind of regressed this year. Throwing too many interceptions. I know not all of them are on him.
No,
obviously.
For sure.
But, they got to do better.
Expect more.
Airborne.
Airborne.
Winless right now. Another unfortunate season. I think like Guillaume, kind of like Simone, he was getting better every season, and now he's starting to maybe like regress a little bit the last couple of games. I really expect him to have a win, at least one win or two on the season. Unfortunately, I got to give them an F right now. I cannot see them turning it around. Next game coming up, they're playing the Titans and they're playing Rossard. That's going to be really hard. Yeah. They did play some of those weaker Division 4 teams and they couldn't pull it off. Even though they were in close games, they just can't get the win, and they have the talent on that team. They've been playing together for a couple of seasons now, and I just don't know what it is.
It is tough. I got to give them an F2. They just really, unfortunately, they haven't been able to put up enough points, and I know in that division, it's a little bit of a lower division in D4. You still can't win, putting up like 7 points, 12,
They're averaging 8 points a game right now.
Right, you got to be able to score, and of course you have to rely on your defense when the time is needed, but no matter what division you're playing, no matter what sport you're playing, it's simple. If you're not putting up points, unfortunately, you're not doing well. So it's been a tough season for them.
Next up, Rossard. They just beat us, so I got to give them at least an A, right?
Yes.
They're 4-1 right now. Their only losses to Panache, who are undefeated.
Yes.
They played a great game against us. Very sound defensively. Like they stopped us at the goal line, I think 2 or 3 times in that game, and that was a huge difference. So great team.
Yeah.
And looking forward to how the season finishes out for them.
Not to keep copying you, I'm giving them an A as well. When I ref their game, I realized how, if you look at the roster as a whole, this team, I would say, is too good to be in D4. And like we talked about, they do have that one loss against Les Panaches, who are undefeated. I just think that when we talk about teams without a weakness, this team comes to mind. I think that D4, they're solid. They got good snapper. They got good receivers. They got good defender. They got a long ball guy. They got a short bomb guy. They got a quarterback who's accurate, who always looks calm. I'm giving them, like I said, I'm going to give them an A, and I've been really impressed with this team. And I think that I wouldn't be surprised if they finish the season 9-1.
Yeah, so next up we got Wolfpack. 2-2, tale of 2 seasons so far. They got the pre-Marvin Steinberg era and the post-Marvin Steinberg era. Right now, they're undefeated with Marvin on that team. He will be on the team going forward. It's the QB that's still a question mark for them. They had Jason Armanti sub in and ball out in that game.
Played well, very well.
Beating Les Beautés. Next playing game coming up against Les Bouchers. I got to give them a B- right now because even though Marvin's on that team, it's a bunch of free agents, right? And they've definitely exceeded my expectations.
I'm going to give a B- as well, and I promise I was
going
to...
You'll go first next.
Yes, I like that. I was B-. Look, obviously the addition of Marvin is huge. We all know he plays D1. He's a great player. They do have
other... He doesn't just play D1. He'd say he's one of the best D1 players.
I wouldn't disagree with that either. I think the fact that if you look at Jason and what he's doing in D3, the fact that he could take his experience into D4, and it's not... Marvin is obviously playing well, but he's not carrying the team by himself. He has a lot of... No, he has a lot of... No.
Have you told him that?
No, I won't tell him that, but he's, the wide receiver 2 on that team is good, even the wide receiver 3. I look at this team, they do have a really good roster. It's going to be what's going to happen when they play a difficult team. That's what I want to see for them, but like I said, I'm giving them a B- just like you.
Next up, we got Sneaky Snakes, who are sitting at 1-4 right now. They put off that the first week 1 win in overtime, and it's been a 4-game losing streak since. What do you got?
I got to give them a D-, and I was going to give them an F. I'm going to be a little bit nicer D- simply because they've had a tough schedule. Unfortunately, the QB situation for them hasn't been the greatest. They kind of, I believe it's the quarterback's first year trying out the quarterback position. So, of course, that's tough no matter what division you're playing in. I just think, if you, it's another team, if you look at their team, you're too good to have 1 win in D4.
They also got a couple of D3 players, right?
That's what I mean.
And they haven't played together other teams, they got a couple of new players, but they have a lot of players who have been playing for a long time.
Right.
And you were expecting a little more, right? Obviously, you weren't expecting this team to be undefeated at this point.
No.
With the new, inexperienced quarterback. But they have a great attitude. They're there to have fun. They're a great group of people. Mm-hmm. So I also got a D for them.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they win a couple of games, right?
No, I wouldn't either. I'm rooting for them. They're a fun team.
That was it for Division 4. Let's move on to Division 5
Okay, let's go. You go first. I'll keep going first. Sorry, I like going first.
Let's start off with none other than Phoenix.
Phoenix, holy cow, big win, right? There was the, the Rivalry Bowl, or not so rivalry. I believe they won 40-40.
Crazy how after that game, Kevin's talking smack, how he destroyed Raf, and then Raf's like, wow, Kevin, great game, you balled out, respect. Yeah. And he's just such a nice guy, in victory and in defeat.
Definitely. I'm going to give, I like where these guys are going. I'm going to give them an A-. Kevin has this team rolling. I do like, the additions they have. Look, you talk about Vince Blondet. I mean, he plays D1, and on Outlaws, he will get, a shout out, of course, or I'd say kind of overlooked because of the talent you have on that team. But he's got speed. I'd say he's probably the fastest guy in D5. when you got a roster like that, when you got Kevin...
I know Travis from Gold Rush might have something to say about that.
Yes, that's a good call. Good, yes, in terms of speed, you're very right about that one. But I like where this team is headed. Their schedule has been free. We talked about Gold Rush. They have a good team, right? And they beat them quite convincingly.
They didn't play Gold Rush yet.
Oh, it was sorry. They just beat Spin Doctors. Yes, thank you. Spin Doctors do have a good team. They were on a little bit of a win streak. Raf is obviously a great quarterback. I'm going to give them an A-, just the fact that how they were able to win last game so convincingly.
I'm giving them an A-. I was expecting this team to be undefeated at this point, right? With the roster they do have.
Yeah.
And the addition of Nick on that team. And obviously when Kevin's missing guys, he just goes get some D1 subs on that team. So, they should have been undefeated right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't deny that.
Also, Division 5, there's only 5 teams in that division. So, they play against each other a lot. So, some teams are going to play 3 times against the same team, so we get to see some action, a lot of turnaround. Like you said in previous episodes, it's really hard to beat the same team twice, let alone 3 times in the same season, right?
Totally, 100%.
Next off, Los Politos, those beautiful jerseys.
Yeah, beautiful jerseys, Los Politos. Also,
a hard season, 0-4.
Shout out to the quarterback. He was wearing a Dwayne Wade jersey. I always love to see that representing the GOAT.
That's going to influence you now, right?
Yeah. I got to give them an A+. No, unfortunately, I have to give them a D. It's been a tough season. I do like the, obviously, Sam Javet. We talk about him. He and his quarterback do have a great connection. Oftentimes, it's the quarterback throwing it up and him getting up there. But QB can make nice throws. At this point, it's about his receivers kind of helping him out. And I feel like they haven't really gotten the ball running. Unfortunately, giving up 31 points a game is really a lot for D5. You shouldn't be giving up that many points. You can't be giving up those many points and expecting to win games. So that's why I give them
that grade. It's a great group of people also, and they're fairly new to the sport.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them a C- based on expectations. But I spoke about the points against. I'm looking at the points for a new team to go and average 20 points for a game.
That's fair.
They've been in most of their games, right? And that's pretty impressive to score on average over 3 touchdowns a game.
The first game of the
season, great, right?
Yeah, first game of the season to score up 27
and lose the game. Yes.
Against Spin Doctors, right?
This past weekend they also scored 26 and lost that game. So
right.
They've been in most of the games and they're inching close to those victories. Once they get one, I think they could get it rolling.
Agree, totally. I don't think the season is over for them. Honestly, I don't.
Next up, we got Spin Doctors.
Spin Doctors, fun team.
Addition of Rob White on that team, another veteran.
Big, I believe. Last game he had up to 7 catches. It was a really good game for him, and obviously he could be that security blanket on the team. They have a record that obviously losing to Flamingos at the beginning of the season, losing to Phoenix was tough. But look, they beat Mimosa Crew. They've beaten the last calls. I'm gonna give this team a B-. I think they do have the potential. I can see them going up. They do have some fairly recent players in terms of getting into flag. I talked to one of their players who had played flag before, but it's been a while. So you got to shake off the rust, right? There's a few things to kind of do with that team. Fairly even, points for, points against. So yeah,
I'm also agreeing with you in this one. B- for them. Pretty much the same reasons as you said.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Mimosa Crew. 17 points for per game, but 23 points against. That's great defense.
Yeah.
They're sitting at 2-3 right now. They had a hard schedule playing Phoenix twice, even though they beat them once.
Yeah.
Based on
Shut them out.
Based on the roster, when these guys signed up and seeing them at the tryouts, I gotta give this team a B. They exceeded my expectations. They're playing great. They have that chemistry. When Kern's not on, they got Taylor going in at quarterback, and they're both doing what's needed to keep their team in a game.
I'm gonna give A+ simply because of their jerseys. No, I love the jerseys, but I'm going to give them a B+. Honestly, this team has exceeded my expectations. I was debating whether to go A-, B+, but I go B+ simply because of their record. They're a fun team, and they just beat, this past Saturday, they beat Gold Rush. Obviously, we know Gold Rush.
Yeah, huge game.
One of the favorites.
Very close.
I believe we all picked Gold Rush in that game. I'm going to say...
No. John picked Mimosa Crew.
Come on.
I was going to save it for our, when we're going to do the picks at the end. Well, talking about our picks, I was going to say that he has some insider information sometimes since he controls the subs.
But he's still in last place in our picks, right?
Yeah, he's in last place right now, but maybe that's why. If he was first, maybe he'd feel more generous.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
When a team needs a sub, they go through John, and then John knows who's missing on that team. He does not share the information with us.
It keeps it all to
himself.
himself.
So if you guys are missing players and you're asking for a sub, let us know. We might be able to help you find an even better sub than John will give you.
Yes.
And you're also helping us, so we'll help you.
Help us help you. But Mimosa Crew...
All that to say, John picked Mimosa Crew in that game. He was the only one.
Right, and all that to say, I'm liking Mimosa Crew and giving them a B+.
Next up, we got Les Last Calls.
Let you take this one first.
Les Last Calls haven't played many games in Division 5 since they were moved down from Division 4.
Right.
They got that first one against Mimosa Crew, then they lost back-to-back games to Spin Doctors and Phoenix, who are arguably the top teams in the division.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a C for now because I didn't see enough of them, and based on the expectations, I saw them play last year, and they do have enough players to be over 500 in this division. They should make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the C for now.
I'm going to go C minus. I think that, just looking at their record, having that one win is obviously tough. Of course, you got to be scoring more than 13 points a game against to kind of like help out your defense, where you can't always, like I talk about, you can't always be relying on your defense. If your defense is always on the field and you're always going 3 and out, it's tough. I'm going to give them that grade, but I do see a little light at the end of the tunnel for these guys.
Last but not least, Gold Rush.
Gold Rush, I'll let you go first again.
They're 3-2 right now, averaging 21 points for and 21 points against. One of the stronger teams in this division.
Yes.
Obviously, Travis was not there for them in street clothes on the sideline, cheering his team on.
Right.
They're having a good season. They lost that game by 1, and their other losses against the Flamboyant Flamingos. They haven't played Phoenix or they actually beat Spin Dogs. They have not played Phoenix yet.
Right.
Playing them back to back later on in the season.
Yeah.
I got a B for them.
I got a B plus.
B plus?
Simply because the reasons you said. Obviously, beating Gold Rush without their QB is not as special as if they had their QB, but still, you're still beating a good team with a lot of great talent on the roster. I do like where this team is headed, and I think that they seem to be kind of picking up the pace, and they got the ball rolling, and yeah.
So that's pretty much it for the Saturday League. Do we do MFL Brossard?
No, whatever. Let's do Brossard today.
Got a few minutes left.
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
It won't be any long.
No, like 30 seconds max for all 7 teams.
Just because of the great attitude I saw by 23 at the field last Sunday.
Yeah.
We gotta do them, right?
Freaking love those guys.
So let's start off with none other than McTouchdown.
Yeah, McTouchdown, I'll give us an A. I think I was going to give A+. We had a bit of a tough game on Sunday playing Jackrabbits without JC, just squeaking out the win in that one. I'm going to give an A simply because we're undefeated. We seem to be on the defensive side of the ball, has carried us in games we needed to win. Dave has had a really good season. I think that looking at our roster, looking at every side of the ball, the rusher position, snapper, and everywhere, I really like where we're headed, and we've beaten some good teams fairly convincingly, so I'm going to go with an A.
I think you're being a little nice. You want to seem unbiased on the show. Averaging 34 points against, 33 points for, 12 points against. I'm giving us an A+.
Yeah.
We're undefeated right now. No one has been able to slow us down. Even those games that the score was tight, I don't think we ever felt a stress.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna go with an A+ and leave it at that.
Yep.
Next up, we have the 4-1 Outlaws, who the only loss was when they were missing GOAT Hall of Fame QB Steven.
Right, that was the game against us, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with an A- for them. I love the roster. Can't believe I'm praising him. Miles is a guy who always gives me crap on the field, but no, he isn't. He doesn't.
But he's giving you love in the comments on the show.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's too late, bro. I'm too salty. But really, a great player.
He's just speaking the truth, and you know it. Miles is an honest guy.
Yeah, you guys have something working on the side there. It's all good. But no, really great player. Offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball. Snapper being one of the most important positions in the league. Just the fact that, like we talk about,
he's always open.
He always open.
He's not open for 1 or 2 yards. He's open downfield. He's open on the crosser. He's open on the corner, the post, 10 yards, 50, wherever you want him.
And for a guy that's as slow as a turtle, like he's really good at kind of like mossing people and getting down.
You're calling a guy slow?
Well, bro, if I'm faster than him, he must be slow. But yeah, no, I was gonna say now, Terry. But yes, he is a great player. Obviously, with Steve on that team, they have really ballers everywhere. And I forget what grade I gave them. I think I said A-.
Yeah, I said A-. I'm gonna give them an A.
Okay.
For all the reasons named, but I'm giving them an A.
Fair.
Then we got Bread and Circuses. I'll go first. They're sitting at 4-2. Their 2 losses were against the 2 teams we just mentioned.
Yep.
Us and Outlaws. I'm gonna give them a B simply because yes, they're 4-2, but in those games where they lost to us and Outlaws, they didn't pull up a closer fight that they should have, in my opinion. Losing 41-12 today on Sunday against Outlaws, and then 50-8 against us.
Yeah.
This team has talent. Like, you look at them across, they're all athletes. They seem like they're actual football players in their prime still playing.
Yeah.
The games must be closer when they're playing those top teams.
You look intimidated just looking at them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with B+. I'm gonna be a bit more generous. B+, I'm kind of breaking a rule here. I'm looking at just what I see this team can bring. So I think at 4-2, and
we got no rules.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're totally right. B+, just because of the talent this team has, and again, they don't have a weak spot. Their quarterback's great. They really seem like they know the game of flag football, and it's not just because these guys are athletic. They're smart and they're athletic, and it's going to help them to their advantage when they make the playoffs. They're good on both sides of the ball, and I think that's important. They're not just relying on one side. So I'm going to give them a B+ because I see them with a ton of potential.
Yeah. Next up, Jackrabbits. I'm gonna give them a B minus. They're 2-3, but their 2 out of the 3 losses came against us. So hard schedule for them. Obviously, John's been balling out with Iron Wolves on Saturdays, but it's as if he's giving all his energy there.
Keep it that way, John. Keep it that way.
He's playing a little bit more poorly on Sundays. John's just such a smart quarterback. Mm-hmm. I could see him turning around, even with the squad he has now. And when he gets JC back, David St. Jean's a baller on that team.
Yeah, he is. He really is.
And they're sitting at 2-3, but this is a team that's making the playoffs, in my opinion, right?
Totally. I'm going to say C+, simply because if I'm looking at the fact that you look at this roster, and of course...
He throws the ball to you a little bit much, eh? I think he forgets that he was playing with you on Saturday.
yes. Gotta love John. But yes, that is correct. I can give a C+, because... I know they have guys missing. With that talent, we talk about JC and, like you said, Dave, but Nick Blay is also a baller. He's a guy that can be a number 1 receiver on any team in Brossard.
Are you trying to catch up for calling him out the last couple of weeks?
No, he was a little bit of a baby when talking to us on the sideline. I will admit that. But no, I love Nick Blay. He's like an anchor on offense for them and an anchor on the defensive side of the ball. And I know like the reason I'm saying C+ is I see with a guy like him, even though they have other players that miss games, when you have Nick Blay and when you have David, and when you have a quarterback like John, who's smart and who's an accurate passer.
And he could run the way he runs.
Right, exactly. I would have expected a little more from these guys.
Did he run on Sunday against us?
Maybe for a yard. But I do expect this team to be better. I'm going to give them a C+, just because my expectations were a little higher.
He had 1 attempt for 3 yards.
I was close.
Yeah, almost a game high.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Florence, who made a gorgeous interception on one of David's balls.
Yeah.
She undercut that and almost took it back for 6.
That was some Malcolm Butler stuff. And I kind of just made a Patriots reference. But yeah, no, she read that like a bucket.
Where's your ex-player, man?
And she also made a really good catch on an out. She
on a huge third down.
Yeah, huge. I think it was like 3rd and 10. She caught an 11-yard pass. It wasn't easy. And she's a baller too.
Next up, what do you got for Shake and Bake?
Shake and Bake. So
are you the all-time great of that team? Did they file a poster for you?
Yeah, that was...
they sent it to you yet? A plaque?
We had
thank you for that win.
Yeah, I actually got a beer. I don't drink, but I had to drink because it was just a fun game to play.
You didn't even drink half of it.
Yeah, they don't need to know that, bro. I accepted the drink. They got.
They'd rather you not accept it if they're gonna give you a beer and you're not gonna finish it.
I'm sure that's false, but they won back-to-back games. Not correct. Dave coming in last week for them, throwing the game-winning touchdown to Brad. I was QBing half the game for this team. Completely new team. A lot of these guys are learning the game of flag football, which is always good to see.
Great attitude also.
Amazing attitude. It was a pleasure subbing for this team. And I was using guys I know, like I knew Brad Moore, I knew Dylan, and I was
even Jonathan Brown balled out. He threw him a couple of balls.
Exactly. Yeah, John, really a beautiful deep post route. I was more familiar with those players, so I was throwing to them more, and the other players didn't seem to mind at all. So, like you said, great attitude. I think, look, getting 2 wins, and regardless of myself or Dave quarterbacking for them, like this is a really new team. We just played. We had to get dads and moms subbing for these guys because
that's what I was gonna say. This morning, apparently, they found out that 3/4 of the team could not show up.
Right.
So they're getting their dads to come, their girlfriends there.
That's what I mean.
It was crazy. Like these people were there that never played flag football before.
And you got to admire that because they could have easily forfeited the game. Right? Say four.
We hate forfeits. Imagine how the other team would have showed up to the field knowing they're not playing this Sunday, waiting all week. What better things do you have to do all week? You're priming, hyping yourself up, waiting to play your flag football game.
100%, and they could have done. It was hot today. Hot this past Sunday, I'm gonna give them a B- because just the expectations and the fact that they're able to get back-to-back wins.
I'm giving them a B. Just looking at that roster, they're 2-4 right now, and you and Dave subbing for them and pulling off those wins just goes to show how they're a quarterback away from being a contender to make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, that's well said.
You played great today,
Thank
and
you.
with all due respect, you're not a quarterback, right?
Yeah, right.
You quarterback maybe handful of times in a year. There's no team where you're the quarterback of the team,
right?
And you were able to get a victory for that team, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I'd even say a convincing one too. So it just goes to show if they get a guy who knows how to somewhat quarterback this team. They could fight for that last playoff spot.
I agree, totally. It's going to be a fun end of the season for this team.
So next up, we got 28-3. If it was based on attitude alone, they get an 8+++. But the way your season is going and the number of seasons you've been in this league, unfortunately, I got to give you guys a D. You guys are 1-5 right now. Only 62 points in 6 games, 170 points against. You guys should be doing better right now.
I don't feel like saying anything bad about this team.
I know it hurt me to say, but you guys know I got to be real, right?
I'm just going to say C-, and I'm leaving it at that.
All right, we'll be happy to help. I know sometimes a couple of weeks ago I gave you a couple of plays, but watching you guys play, Olivier, get him the ball more. Now that I know how to pronounce his name properly, that guy's muscles are growing every single week.
They're as big as my head.
And last but least, we got Rusty Trombones.
You take it first.
I just want to let them know that when they're talking about rules in the rule book and then they're questioning a judgment call, like, yes, there's a rule written, but for example, a pass interference call, it's a judgment call. So no matter what the rule is, it's to the ref's judgment, right? Mm-hmm. So it was a very hard game to ref. I did not like their attitude. At the beginning of the game, when the captains came for the coin toss, I always let them know I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. Just do not question my judgment.
Yeah.
And maybe the captain did not give that message to his team because they were questioning my judgment the whole game. I don't think I've ever thrown any unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, and after the game everyone was coming up to me, how did you not eject players more than that? You were playing in that game, and I don't know, I kept my cool during the game. It wasn't a fun game to ref, and especially when a team thinks they know the rules and they do not. I see something, maybe something different, but I'm the referee, I'm making the call. Whether you tell me that you saw something different, well, you don't have the stripes, so my call's not going to change. As for their grade, sitting at 1 and 5 right now, I'm going to give them a D.
I'm going to give them a D minus because of expectations. We like I said today, we played them this past Sunday, and they have a good team. They have a QB, has a good arm. He can also run very fast.
He is a great runner.
He is a very good runner, really good runner. Really
and a great rusher too. He started rushing when he got a little angry later in the game, and he was putting pressure on you.
He sacked me like 2 or 3 times. They do have some really good talent on that team. The name is escaping me, but always number 7. He's a great player. I believe he had their last touchdown in the game, their last 2-point conversion.
7, I believe, is always his name.
Oh yeah, what did I say?
11 is open. You said you didn't know his name, but on their jerseys they have always.
It's always 7. Yeah. That's. I'm pretty sure I literally just said that.
7 wears always and 11 wears open. 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
Oh my god.
Bro, I'm not from the States, but it's true. I went to Florida a few times. Anyways,
not even gonna edit this one out.
No, don't leave it in. Yes, I forget where I was, but no, I expect more from this team. And they have a good team. They have a good roster, and I would not for you to. I'm gonna back you up here. I do think the attitude for the team wasn't great. It was kind of the ball got rolling, and I think that when one thing happened, it was a pile of. I think the majority of the flags did go against them, and I think that was the flags were fair.
You see me ref a lot of games up to now.
Yes, and I'm honestly taking my complete bias out. There was a close catch on the sideline that it was hard to see. You called it in, so we have to understand that it really is nothing personal. When you're reffing, you're not. You're seeing something and you're reacting right away. It's bang bang plays. But the thing is, like at the same time, after I was getting sacked and our teammates were making nice plays, they would say nice catch, this and that. So it could have been just a bad day for these guys. Maybe just the tough loss.
Before the game, I see the guys and they have great attitude.
Yeah,
it doesn't translate during the game.
Right.
I don't know if it's being a sore loser or whatnot, or they think that they know better than the referees or whatever. But rolling their eyes. Taking loud, like whatever, like it wasn't fun.
No, I totally agree with that. I think it's
I think they should sit and watch 28-3 play and take notes.
Honestly, for sure, and that's what I was saying. Like 28,
because that's not what the MFL's about.
No, it's not. And we're talking at 28-3 after the game, and obviously they're a little bit older. I think average age than the guys from Rusty Trombones, but the attitude is completely different, right? And when you're a young adult, of course, like there's like a lot of things, and like we're not necessarily like. Have like a lot of stuff to worry about, that type of thing. But like I do think like I was totally agreeing with you before the game. They're all smiles, and even after the game, like we were shaking hands. They were saying nice play to our other players. I was saying
I still heard them talk about the refs.
Yeah, they I believe you, but I do think like the good thing is like these guys do have a positive vibe, and it's potentially the competitiveness of flag and wanting to win sometimes gets the better of you. But
I just know that Shake and Bake were happy to pull off the dub after I think they lost previously in the season 50-0 against Rusty Trombones, and they were running up the score, going big, so they were happy to get that revenge. And so kudos on you, and I think you should be receiving the plaque by mail by next week probably.
Yeah, I think it has a picture of me, and it has like SB and like with that Shake and Bake thing. But no, totally, it was a pleasure playing for Shake and Bake, and I hope I get to do it again.
So that's it for the report cards. We're not going to do our game picks on the show, but make sure you tune in and read Kevin's article on Thursday.
Correct.
Our picks will be in his article, that Thursday article.
Yes.
You'll also see the standings with me being in first place right now.
By like 0.5%. I'm second.
Still first, baby.
Yes, you are. Not for long. But yeah.
Hope you guys liked it. If you guys agreed, let us know. If you disagreed, you can still let us know. Just like when we're refereeing, we're not going to change your pick. Try to prove us wrong. We'll be happy to admit we were wrong if we give you not a passing grade or whatever, and you guys end up making the playoffs. For sure, it's honestly it's been a joy doing this so far for the first 5 weeks. The MFL vibe is great. We received good compliments from other people saying great show, great podcast. So most important thing is to have fun.
Yes, definitely. I'll never forget that, guys. Saturday, we all go to work on Monday. Everyone have fun, have a good time.
Not everyone works on Monday. You working tomorrow?
No, bro. Come Saturdays, get a little sunburnt, get some heat stroke.
Oh, don't forget your water.
Yes. Oh yeah,
because Kevin with that beard, we could call him Santa Claus, giving out those water bottles left and right. And also, don't forget, John can't get all the insight with the picks. We know he's in last place, and we got to help him out a little bit here. But if you guys want subs, let us know. We'll help you find some good subs.
100%. I'm a guy like you. Tell me something, I'll share with everybody. I never keep anything to myself.
Not only that, John was so cocky. He even told us he knew some inside information, and he just waited to the field and made sure. So now it's too late to change the picks, right? Yes, it's too late, John. All right, well, this guy's missing.
Sucks to be in last, John. Sucks to be in last. All right, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show. That was Special Edition. We'll see you guys Saturday. Keep safe, keep hydrated, and we'll see you at the field.
See you guys Saturday. Have fun.